As of November 10, 2025, Lake Mead, the largest reservoir in the United States and a critical water source for millions across the Southwest, stands at an elevation of 1,057 feet above sea level, according to data from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. Over the past several weeks, the lake has remained relatively stable, fluctuating only slightly, gaining and losing small amounts of water, but overall holding steady around the same elevation. Despite this apparent stability, the numbers tell a deeper story. At 28% of its total capacity, Lake Mead remains alarmingly low. The lake now sits roughly 4 feet lower than it did at this time last year, a small change on paper, but in a system already pushed to its limits, even slight variations can have significant consequences. Lake Mead's situation is directly tied to Lake Powell, located upstream on the Colorado River and serving as its primary feeder. Unfortunately, Lake Powell continues to sit at record low levels, struggling to recover after years of drought, rising temperatures and declining snowpack in the Rocky Mountains. As a result, less water is being released downstream to support Mead's elevation. This poses growing concerns for the Hoover Dam, one of America's most important sources of hydroelectric power. When water levels drop too low, turbines that generate electricity for hundreds of thousands of homes across Nevada, Arizona, and California become less efficient, and could eventually stop operating altogether if conditions worsen. Scientists and water officials warn that the upcoming winter season will be crucial. Much depends on how much snow accumulates in the upper Colorado River Basin, where spring meltwater feeds the reservoirs. But early forecasts suggest that El Niño patterns may not deliver the deep snowpack needed to replenish the system. If this trend continues, the 2026 water year could bring another round of mandatory water cuts for states dependent on the Colorado River. The stakes are high. More than 40 million people, along with vast agricultural regions that produce a large share of the nation's food supply, rely on the Colorado River's water. Urban growth, overuse, and decades of mismanagement have all added to the strain, leaving communities and policymakers scrambling for sustainable solutions.